everybody. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Commission meeting. It's good to see you, whether you're in the room or on the screen. Thank you to our guests. Welcome. Look forward to today's meeting. Another thanks to our commissioners for their service on the commission. Appreciate the time that you spend through the month. And it's not just at this meeting. It takes your time on behalf of the commission, so thank you for that. Tom, if you can just do a quick roll call, please, so we have one here.
Commissioner Brenheiser. Commissioner DeBlunda. Here. Commissioner Abloff. Commissioner Abloff, are you online? Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Lark.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Ruddy.
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney.
Here.
Chairman's here. Commissioner Abloff. John, Doc, are you on? You don't know what he mentioned.
Okay, thank you, Tom, and we'll watch the screen here for Dr. Abloff, who was with us earlier for the executive session. So, just a couple of housekeeping. Obviously we have a hybrid meeting, so just be aware as you're speaking, please use the microphone and turn it on, and turn it off when finished. And I would ask the same for those who are on the screen. Just be aware of your mute button as well. When you're speaking, please identify yourself for the benefit of the stenographer as well as the minutes. Will be helpful, very helpful. So with that, just a note that this meeting has been properly advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Act. And by way of notice, the Commission did conduct an executive session to engage in quasi-judicial deliberation to be adjudicated at the public meeting and engaged in attorney-client privilege communication. So with that, let's pick up with our meeting. And Tom, I'll turn to you.
Quick note on the approval of the October 26 minutes. Generally speaking, the minutes are approved each month. The timing of this is problematic with sergeants due to staffing and so on. So what you'll see moving forward is possibly a month lag before the minutes are approved. I wait for the transcripts to make sure I get everything right. So just being transparent here, that we will continue to approve the minutes, but like, for example, October's will be done in December. And there's no way November's will be prepared by the December meeting, so that'll be in January. Okay?
Thank you, John. All right. Presentations. Jason Unsavage will present today's October financial report.
I think we have, I'll make a motion. I think we have to actually make a motion. No. Okay. Okay.
So no motion required on the minutes, right? Since there's none presented, we'll just defer
Correct.
the agenda item. Have a motion. Okay.
You can have a motion in favor if you'd like. You want to do a motion in
But
favor?
you don't have to, right? I mean, if it's not on the agenda, simply pick it up to the December meeting. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Jason, the October financials.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll begin with the racing fund balance update as of the end of October. The month began with an $8.206 million cash balance. Revenue for the month totaled $1.523 million. Expenditures between the commission, testing, promotion, and the department of revenue totaled $2.318 million, giving us an ending cash balance on October 31st of $7.412 million. Moving next to an update of the commission finances. Total revenue for the month of October, $743,000. Expenditures between personnel and operating totaled $679,000. Next, horse testing. Revenue for the month from Charlotte Racehorse Development Trust Fund was $780,000. Expenditures between personnel and operating was $910,932. For racing promotion, there were no additional transfers from the Racehorse Development Trust Fund, and expenditures for the month totaled $703,000. Next, looking at a comparison of the commission testing year-to-date October 2021 versus 2020. Total revenue 2021, $7.088 million versus $8.9 million prior year. Expenditures totaled $6.274 million in 2021 versus $5.798 in the prior reporting period. And the remaining financials represent the restricted funds. Any questions?
Jason, thank you. Questions for Jason on the October financials? Any questions? If not, Jason, thank you. Let's do another check. Dr. Egloff, have you joined us? Okay. And again, a reminder for those on virtual, just to mute your phones, please, unless you're speaking. Thank you. Okay, Jason, thanks. Tom?
As common practice, the groups that receive grants make presentations in front of the commission. For this month, we have two groups. The first group is the Standardbred Breeders Association, Mike Simpson, and whoever's going to join you, Mike, coming up.
Thank you, Secretary. You guys hear me?
Just hit the, there you go. Good.
Green button.
There you go.
Thank you, Secretary and Commissioners. I'm Mike Simpson from the Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania. Before we get to the details of the marketing effort, I want to comment on our sale that we had in the Farm Show building earlier this month. I'm happy to report that we had the second highest gross in the Standardbred auction's 82-year history, coming in at almost $70 million. We also had the highest average price of all time at $53,527. So it was an absolutely amazing year. And I can report also that the consigners, the customers, all of our staff were extremely happy to be back in Harrisburg and happy to be back in the Farm Show building. It was something that we really appreciated, along with all of the additions that were done, the upgrades that were done to the Farm Show building. We heard many compliments, so we really appreciate it. But for the rest of the year, Ashley and Stu have been working very hard with our marketing money to help spread the word about standardbred breeding in Pennsylvania. And with that, I'll pass it over to you, Stu.
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon, everyone. Secretary, Commissioners, Council, nice to see everyone here today. I'm Stu Kirschenbaum. Stu is spelled S-T-U. Kirschenbaum is K-I-R-S-H. E-N-B-A-U-M, the owner of Keystone Films. The work that we do with the Standardbred Breeders Association of Pennsylvania is largely about building their brand and enhancing their image by speaking to the standardbred industry and underscoring Pennsylvania's place at the very top of this industry. We're also speaking to the general public, particularly here in central PA, making them aware of both the prestige and the benefits, the economic impact, and job creation, which results from the strength of Pennsylvania's standardbred breeding. Now, we last reported to you in January. Since then, Keystone Films, on behalf of the standardbred breeders, has continued our robust broadcast and digital marketing and advertising campaigns. We've boosted the standardbred breeders' social media platforms, and we've maintained our daily management, our hosting, our SEO, and security for the standardbred breeders' new website, project we had just undertaken when I last spoke with you on this back in January. We also continue to derive significant benefits from the location shoots that Keystone produced in 2020 at Hanover, at Diamond Creek Farm, and at the Array.
This is Egloff. I'm now on.
You can explain.
Perfect timing.
We plan to restock our library with another video shoot last month. After much discussion with Mike, it was decided it would be best to hold off until perhaps April or May. So we look forward to doing that come the springtime. Additionally, we plan to, as we did in 2019, assuming that there is going to be a resumption of the open house at Diamond Creek, we certainly plan to have a full video crew there, document all the goings on there, and that's certainly yet another example of this wonderful community outreach and spreading the word about standardbred breeding. For now, though, as I said, that other video shoot that we did continues to pay pretty significant dividends. On Facebook alone, there's a 2-minute, 30-second long video that we produced that's now been watched over 17,000 times. The viewer engagement has been great. It's been shared over 250 times. And the feedback, people clicking, love this, like this, whatever, the feedback has been 99.8% positive. So certainly pleased with that. Our top viewership is from here in Pennsylvania, as well as from our neighboring states, New York, New Jersey, and Ohio. So this too is a good way to reach the general public and make them aware of many benefits, the importance of standardbred breeding here in PA. Additionally, it's also been watched all over the world. It's been watched in 36 different foreign countries. Most viewership on that has come from Canada and from Australia. And from that shoot, we've also, in addition to that 2-minute and 30-second video, we produced a 30-second commercial, which Nicole, if we could play for them now.
Pennsylvania is sort of the pinnacle of standardbred breeding. The best stallions stand in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania has what I consider to be the premier racing and breeding program in North America. Pennsylvania breds are worth a lot of money compared to other states because of the races they can be in.
Many farms have moved into the state because of our program here.
This is the creme de la creme where the top horses are being bred and being raised.
So Dr. Aloff is now with us in more ways than one, I guess. Over the past 6 months or so, we've aired that commercial nationally, TVG, TVG2, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, on CBS Sports Network, for events such as Hamiltonian, Meadowlands Pace, and the Breeders' Crown. In essence, whenever there is a major harness racing event, we want to be certain that our messaging and our branding is a part of that event. Additionally, Keystone Films maintains daily management of standardbred breeders' social media platforms. The following there continues to grow since, again, we last presented to you in January. There's been 9% growth in our Facebook likes and a 6% growth in our Twitter followers. Additionally, at this time in our country when so many businesses, I think it's fair to say, are struggling to get back, ramp up to full speed and find employees, find staffing, we initiated outreach, Keystone Films did on behalf of the standardbred breeders, to the equine programs, several of them, the University of Kentucky, the University of Louisville, and the University of Arizona. We've also created social media listings and job posts for open positions. So far, Hanover has expressed the most interest in this. We created a job awareness campaign for them, which ran from July until the end of October. That ran in both English and Spanish. This, again, included social media posts plus listings to various social media job pages. Naturally, this is something that we will happily make available to any standardbred breeding farm that would like our assistance with that. And along with our partners, a firm called Ethic Advertising, we continue to maintain, manage daily content, hosting, security, and SEO, as I said, for the Standardbred Breeders' new website, standardbredbreederspa.com. This document which was sent to you, and notice it's been hyperlinked, so hopefully folks have been there. If you haven't, it's as simple as clicking on there, and you just scroll down the site and see what it looks like. We've added a job section which can be reached from the homepage. And additionally, at the bottom right, whoever's on the site can choose if they wish to view the entire site in Spanish or in English. And the two videos that we discussed earlier, one of which you just saw, they're also prominently featured on the homepage. To wrap it up, we continue to use a variety of methods to achieve our branding and imaging objectives on behalf of the Standardbred breeders. We use their platforms to highlight the achievements on the racetrack. Of course, it's sired and or bred in Pennsylvania. Up until very recently, I'd say that was happening maybe 7 days a week when a PA horse accomplishes something of significance at a Standardbred racetrack in a huge race. We want to continually ensure that the Standardbred breeders' message resonates with the industry. Not only is Pennsylvania the preeminent state for Standardbred breeding, but of course, Pennsylvania is also home to the world's most successful breeding farm, Hanover. And we will continue to make ongoing use of a variety of initiatives, as outlined in the next few minutes, so that all Pennsylvanians can take pride in the many great things that Standardbred breeding brings to the state. That's all I have here. Happy to take your questions.
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
Is there a recap on a yearly basis of how many mares stand in Pennsylvania in terms of, it appears that there's a shortage of racehorses this year. And I'm just wondering, with the competition that we have for mares now with some of the other programs, are we holding our own in terms of the number of mares that stand in Pennsylvania? I mean, we understand, everybody understands the job situation now, that it's occurring in all phases. But, I'm just wondering how we're doing as far as the number of mares and how it compares to, say, other years.
I don't have that precise number, but I can get that for you for the next meeting.
Thank you. Because I'm thinking that maybe we should be putting some emphasis on bringing mares into Pennsylvania, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'll hand this over to Ashley. She's going to talk about another program that we've been doing called Wager Warriors.
Good afternoon, I'm Ashley Eisenbiel. I work for the PHRA as the marketing director, and the name is spelled ASHLEY and then EISENBEEIL. So thank you so much for having me here today. I have to say, the Wager Warriors program is probably one of the most beneficial and really rewarding programs that we've put out in the past 3 years, and I have to thank the Standardbred breeders. It really is a partnership. We use some of our marketing funding, and then they really push in a little extra that make this program be a little bit even more every year. Being able to add the free PPs in 2020, and again this year in 2021 through Trackmaster has been super influential. Now our Standardbred tracks have also implemented the free PPs, which is amazing. So we've shifted our free PPs over to the Thoroughbred tracks for the rest of the season. So each week we put out on our website a Thoroughbred tracks card PPs, and people are able to download it off the website. We put it on our social media, and then also it goes out to our email list for Wager Warriors, which is over 300 people now. So our email list just keeps growing and growing. People love the free PPs. It is a great asset to all fans, new and old. For our new fans, they get to download a free PP without any cost. And they get to work at their own pace and be able to actually get their hands on it, look up things from home, utilizing our website and some of our how-to videos that are on there as well. So it's really a great thing to have the free PPs, and I'm looking forward to continuing that partnership with Trackmaster and bringing more free PPs to the state. So
Actually, if I could interrupt, sorry to break your stride, but they go with PT, what do you?
Past performances, so the racing program. So this year alone, with the harness tracks and our past performances that we have free downloads for, we give away 500 race days of programs. So that is more than any state in the nation. So I think that's something to be proud of. Really shows the bettors that we care about them. and we're giving them a little thank you, welcome back. Quickly, I just want to touch on, in the years past, Wager Warriors was kind of started out as a grassroots program where we were going to be on the track, on the apron, handing out tip sheets and giving some free vouchers. We came back this year from the track and we were excited to get out there, but we still had some COVID wariness. We weren't sure how to approach people if people wanted to be approached. And then also we did struggle with having some staffing issues for the events at the track when we were there. So we kind of had to shift gears a little bit, and we hosted the Wager Warriors at our booth where we still had the vouchers at the booth and we had our tip sheets, and we just let people come to us instead of going to them. And hopefully as things progress and next summer we might be able to get out there and start interacting more face to face and kind of drag those people that are in the corners out and talk to them. So it went well, people really enjoyed it. We're so happy to be back at the tracks too, so it's going to be something that we continue to grow. Lastly, I want to touch on our Facebook Lives. The Wager Warriors, this is part of our educational objective, and we broadcast on Facebook. It's usually about an hour-long program, again with Mike Carter and Mike Bovich, usually once a month, and we have special guests that come on, and we talk about a plethora of different topics for wagering, handicapping from beginning to advanced. Another great thing that we've been doing and really see the fan engagement is building out like a card, like a bet for the day with using our free PPs. So we'll get Mike's input and the Mike's input and whoever our guest is, and we kind of discuss the race, each horse, and the fans like to comment a lot and tell us what horses they think should be in there and who their picks are, and we'll interact with them throughout the live feed. So this year we've done 9 live streams, and you can see those in your packet. There are live links if you didn't get to watch one. You can go back and rewatch them. We also have another one scheduled for the end of December where we're going to focus on Parks, stakes races, and then also Harrah's Philadelphia, closing out the season. So we're really looking forward to closing out the year with Mike and Mike on that Wager Warriors. So moving forward, we plan to partner with the Standardbred Breeders Association again to continue the free PPs, continue our live segments on Facebook, and also bring those Wager Warriors back to the aprons and helping people better understand horse racing in Pennsylvania. Any questions?
Ashley, thank you. Questions for Ashley? I'm always interested in the demographics, right? I think this goes back a year or so whenever we started doing the marketing grants. I'm just curious who the Warriors are. What do we know about them? Do they fit in this 25 to 40 age bracket that we were targeting? Any sense of who they are?
I mean, the Wager Warriors, when we have people come out to the tracks, they're definitely skewed younger, like late 20s, early 30s. Just making sure we have a lot of younger, we have 2 or 3 younger ones that are in their early 20s that are physically there. We definitely, Mike and myself, we're in our mid to 30s, so I'd like to say we're not too old, we're in our 30s, but we're also that good target market that has a disposable income now. Our student loans are paid off, and we're kind of looking to have fun and get out there and we have some money to spend. So I think we're hitting the target demographic with the hosts, Mike and Mike, myself. Seth is in his early 20s, and then just Auden has been on quite a few times. She's very popular in the harness. Avery, our intern, she's in her early 20s. She's made some great guest appearances. She's fantastic.
Thank you. Other questions, comments on either presentation for Stu or Ashley? If not, I'll go back to the beginning. Mike, thank you. Thanks for the partnership with Farm Show Complex outside of last year. You've been there for 82 years, which is the longest continuous relationship that the Farm Show Complex has with any private events. The only other one that comes out close is an international horse show. So congratulations. Thank you. Thanks for being there.
Everybody's very happy to be back.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I walked in early in the morning. It felt right. It looked right. There was a lot of energy there. There was a lot of buzz around. Just folks who were anxious to get it. Just wanted to stay on this. But yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's good. Okay, thanks everybody. Okay, on to administrative actions. Tom?
Wait a minute, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. The next item on the agenda is the PHBA marketing report.
I was trying to skip that.
So you should feel right at home, Brian.
Won't be
Sorry.
first time.
Don't take it personally.
Let's take the money.
Sorry.
So we have Brian, Sam Fratello, and Stu. They're going to report on the thoroughbred breeders for the commissioners. Just for gratification, tab 4 has a presentation. If you go to tab 4, is Brian's presentation.
Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary, Commissioners. My name is Brian Sanfratello, B-R-I-A-N, S-A-N-F-R-A-T-E-L-L-O. Our goal has been to use the marketing grant dollars to get our message across to those who make the breeding decisions in PA, in Mid-Atlantic region, and across the U.S. Our program is considered the best for breeding and racing incentives. We've chosen 3 advertising outlets we feel give us the best opportunity to reach those decision makers. They are TVG, Television Games Network, Steve Vick Radio, and the Thoroughbred Daily News. Stu is our partner in advertising, and I will let him start with the advertising, and then I'll finish up. Thank you.
Okay, hello again, everyone. Again, Stu Kirschenbaum from Keystone Films. We're pleased to report that our advertising and our media strategies are working. They have a consistent, ongoing effort, as Brian says, to speak to the thoroughbred industry. Because we want breeders to be aware of the great opportunities available to them here in PA. At the same time, we want to properly position, rightly position, the PA Horse Breeders Association as a group which takes the initiative. First and foremost, they want to do right by the horse. So we produced a new 30-second commercial. The title of it, I think fittingly, is Leadership. It airs nationally numerous times each week on TVG and TVG2, on events such as this month's Breeders' Cup on CSN, and as Brian said, every weekday on Sirius XM, which is national and international reach, the After Races show with Steve Vick. So hold and play 30-second commercial, please.
Here in Pennsylvania, we're proud of our breeding program, the best in North America. But we're also proud to be leaders in this industry. The PA Horse Breeders Association is funding cutting-edge research at Penn Vet into equine health and safety. And we endorse the SAFE Act to help protect the most vulnerable horses. Plus, we're pleased to support the aftercare programs set up by our horsemen's groups. Just a few of the reasons why you should join us in Pennsylvania, the premier place to breed and race.
So let's talk a little bit more about the relationship that we here at Keystone Films have built with TVG, and I think the importance of that relationship really can't be overstated. I just want to take a look at the month of September. We really want to push our messaging, not just to support the PA Bred program, of course, but also help drive handle for PA Derby Day parks. I had every intention of showing you something here, but there was a bit of a technical snafu, and we sent basically a video the size of a thumbnail, so if I blew it up and played it full screen, it would look completely distorted. So I don't have this TVG promo to show you. What I can tell you is that in the month of September, on TVG and TVG2, in any given month, We generally have 24 commercials that run on TVG and 24 on TVG2, 6 a week for each network. In September, there are 52 for each network. Why? Because we have a relationship that now dates through several years, and when there is a major event coming up here in our state, a major racing event, we have sort of a reservoir of bonus commercials that we're able to access. So rather than running 24 times on each network, our commercial ran 52 times in the month of September on each network. There are 15-second, what are known as billboards. It's a brief video that leads in or out of a commercial break on TVG or TVG2. And the brief video obviously is shot at the 3 Pennsylvania thoroughbred tracks. And it talks about the purebred program, and it has the website, purebred.com, as a tag at the end. That ran 12 times on each network, which is customary for that, 3 times a week, generally. But what's interesting, truly, to me, are these promos, and I'm sorry, I'll just call through them. They ran from September 22nd through September 24th. So these ran in the 3 days leading right up to the Derby Day. 21 times on TVG, 21 times on TVG2. And they talked about how TVG would be on site at parks for PA Derby. And, be sure, check it out on Saturday, don't miss it. By the way, TVG's coverage is presented by the PA Horse Breeders Association. Here's the website. And so it's really a win-win because it's helping raise awareness of this event, it's helping drive handle, and it's certainly helping to drive traffic to the PA website as well. One other component that's very important to our relationship with TVG is the ability to receive earned media. Here at Keystone Films, we help to facilitate, we help negotiate with TVG to get Rich Perloff, one of their anchors, to come to parks for PA Day at the races. Parks and brought Rich back out for the PA Derby. Now on PA Day at the races, we arranged for Rich to interview Greg Rule. Greg is, as obviously folks know, the president of the Horse Breeders Association. He is also the owner and the breeder of Precious. So about 5 minutes before Precious ran in the stakes race on PA Day at the races, Rich interviewed Greg about his filly and about the PA program. Fortunately, Precious went out on the track and went wire, so that turned out better. So on PA Derby Day, Precious is again entered, Greg is not there, so I was able to arrange an appearance on TVG for Brian with Rich Perloff, and all for you to play that other video about this.
Brittany, thank you very much. Yeah, we've come to our first stakes race of the day, and we've got Pennsylvania bred fillies and mares running for a purse of $200,000. I'm here with Brian Sanfratello, who's the executive secretary of the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders Association, and it is a testament to the growth of your operation that we're watching a race like this on parks as big as today.
Absolutely. I mean, when we first started the Pennsylvania program back in the 70s, we had like $675,000 to give away total for the year. This year we'll probably give away close to $30 million for Pennsylvania breds.
I was here about a month ago for Pennsylvania's Day at the Races, and we were featuring the state-bred horses all day long, which was a terrific thing. But to see these horses sharing the spotlight with some of the heavy hitters, some of the best 3-year-olds in America on a day like this has to be special for you.
Absolutely, and we wanted to make it special, which is why we moved those purses up from $100,000 to $200,000.
We appreciate your time. We appreciate the product you put on the racetrack. Thanks very much.
Great, thanks, Rich.
It's Brian Sanfratello, Pennsylvania breds for $200 grand. Coming up in the Plum Pretty, and guys, it is all stakes races from here on in.
So, again, I work with TVG, I work with TVG2, I work with Steve Dick, Sirius XM, I work with Breeders' Cup. It's all designed with the PA Horse Breeders Association branding and messaging from the eyes and ears of horsemen, the eyes and ears of industry leaders, the eyes and ears of decision makers, And certainly in the case of Being Derby Day, in front of the eyes and ears of our loyal day-to-day customers, horse players. I just want to end with this, and Commissioner Brenizer has actually done his back last home ago. Because I did happen to be sort of thumbing through the Jockey Club fact book a couple weeks ago. And I did take a look at the Mayor's Bred Thoroughbred side for Pennsylvania. And I started looking back to 2016, when Keystone Films began putting our strategies in place on behalf of the horse breeders. And I looked over a 5-year period to see where Pennsylvania stacks up. And I started by looking at the United States as a whole. Over that 5-year period, the number of mares bred in the U.S. is down essentially 20%. You look at California, Florida, New York, it's down essentially 30%. Kentucky, Maryland, roughly 10%. Pennsylvania is up 43%. So that's not just a one-time thing. That's a cumulative number over a 5-year period. So we're obviously pleased about that. And, we think that marketing plays, advertising plays a small but important role in this process. The lion's share of credit for that obviously goes to Brian, our staff, to Greg, to the rest of the board, and obviously to the breeders who are putting this product together, certainly. So that is all I have, and happy to take any questions you might have.
Yes, I have a question. This is John Egloff. You said your results are from 2016, I believe, or going forward?
Yes, sir, 5 years.
You need to take a look at the last 2 years, because recently there's been a tremendous upsurge in the money available in Kentucky and also in New Jersey. And with Kentucky's new program of allowing a mare to be bred to any stallion in the country, as long as the mare is in Kentucky, and then race for money in Kentucky, which the purses have gone up tremendously. We've lost the mares part of the year from our farm because people are trying to, in essence, make them dual eligible. In other words, if the mare's foal is by a Pennsylvania stallion, and then if the mare then resides in Kentucky for 180 days during that period she's bred, it's also eligible in Kentucky. So we've had some of our clients' mares who are, in essence, double dipping by being in Pennsylvania part of the year and in Kentucky part of the year. And then we've surely probably, the state, I would imagine, has lost the mares going to Kentucky, that even though they're bred to a Pennsylvania stallion, they're now staying to Kentucky. So there's been a lot of recent changes in the last couple of years with money available and with the resurgence of racing in Indiana and Ohio, which overall I think is good for everybody. But Pennsylvania is not quite in the forefront that we're used to being in because of the money available in these other states. So I would think a very close look ought to be taken at the last few years. And we're being misled a little bit looking at back 2016.
Thanks for your question, Commissioner. We, at the last board meeting, had looked at some of the, some data, and we just put a committee together, which is actually going to meet for the first time on Wednesday, to talk about what we could do to get more breeders into Pennsylvania and more mares into Pennsylvania. It is, it is an issue, and we.
Another part of the issue, of course, is that when we first started our Breeders Awards program, there was we had a tremendous number of mares starting to be bred in the state, or increased rather. My farm certainly had a number of increases as all the other farms, major farms, moved into Pennsylvania, like Diamond Creek. One of the problems we have now is everyone is always worried about so much of our money being taken away, and with the increase in money in Kentucky and New Jersey and Indiana, Ohio, there are quite a number who are looking at going other places. So that little bit of insecurity there has also contributed. So anyway, once again, I think you need to take a hard look at the numbers, and most are very recent.
Very well, thank you. Any further comments on that point?
Just the fact that you are correct. The past couple of years, we've had to fight as an individual organization and as a equine coalition to make sure that the money does stay here in Pennsylvania. We've done, I think, a fantastic job in doing that, but you are correct, and perception is what people are going is what people think is the fact. So again, we also are going to continue in our fight to make sure this year that the money stays.
Right, thank you, Stu. Thank you. Oh, you have more?
Yeah. And the last area, we said the first two areas were TVG and the Steve Vick Sirius Radio. The third is the Thoroughbred Daily News. If you look in your packet, we have the bottom portion of the contents page, and every single day for the full year. We use it in various ways. We wanted to make sure that we had a spot that people look to on a daily basis. So you can see on that first page, it shows the moving of the stakes races to $200,000. And again, that's on their contents page. The next page shows our Thoroughbred report that we do every month. What's happening in Pennsylvania? The November issue is here. All they do is click on, and they'll be able to view the November issue. The next page, with Northview leaving and going, Northview PA leaving and going back to Maryland, we got quite a few calls about boarding farms. And this one ad showed all of the farms. We went to the breeders and made a list of all the farms that would be available for mares. The next page shows PA Day at the races. That was on August 23rd, with 5 stakes races that day. And the next page is the stallion auction, stallion season auction, which we're going to be having from January 12th to 18th. So we see this as an integral part of making sure that we get out news to everyone. Attached is the TDN Media Kit. I'd just like to bring your attention to a couple of things. The TDN, or Thoroughbred Daily News, is the racing industry's leading investment publication, serving tens of thousands of racehorse owners, breeders, and industry professionals. Over 2.2 million unique users per year. Over to the next page, it tells you who the typical breeder is. Highly educated, affluent, travels extensively, interacts with TDN several times a day, and it gives you a list of notable breeders. You can take a look at that when you get a chance. Next page, demographics. 61% of the people that use the TDN are between ages 18 and 34, which is the market that we which is what we want to try to get new people into the breeding business. Like everyone else, people are getting older, and sometimes when they transfer their farms to their children, it winds up getting sold for some other reason. I think what's notable on this page, the annual metrics, it says, now I wrote in there this year's, they haven't done the 2021, they're in the process of doing that now. The page views are 9.5 million annually. So when someone goes in and clicks on there and then goes to a story within the daily news, it's considered a page view. So many people are looking at multiple pages when they're in there. And then where I wrote in daily average downloads, it's 7,143 daily, or up 36% over last year. And you can see there they have a huge social media metrics area, and how people access the TDN and what they access it on. The next page is a global reach. 72% of the users are from the United States. The greatest number of visitors are from Kentucky, with the top 10 as follows, that's listed there. Also, internationally, 223 countries and territories. And then testimonials on the last page. You can see a picture of celebrity chef Bobby Flay, who purchased a Pennsylvania bred this year, Caravel, which from one of our breeders, or 75% of it from one of our breeders, and ran in this year's Breeders' Cup. Any questions?
Fine, thank you, Stu, thank you. Appreciate the updates. Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to administrative updates and actions. Tom?
In your packet, number 5 is the proposed commission meeting schedule for 2022, which you've had an opportunity to review. As such, Mr. Chairman, I seek a motion to approve the 2022 commission meeting schedule.
Tom, thank you. Have a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Lord.
Second.
Commissioner Warren, thank you. Commissioner Rogers on the second. Any discussion of the meeting, proposed meeting dates for 2022? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the dates, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next administrative action is a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for the harness tracks for December, Harris of Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun of Pocono Downs, and at the Meadows, Mr. Chair.
Tom, thank you. You have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Sweeney on the motion, Mr. Bernheiser on the second. Any discussion of this motion? Hearing none, those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next motion is to approve the simulcast calendars for the thoroughbred tracks for December of 2021 for Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBunda on the motion. Second. Second, Commissioner Jones, thank you. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next administrative action will be motions to approve the operational matters for the licensed racing entities. There are 5 of them. I will do them individually. The first one is the operational approval for Penn National. That approval seeks 150 live days. The request for officials, takeout race, wagering format, simulcast in and simulcast out. A motion for Penn National's approval, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the operational plan for Penn National.
So moved.
Mr. Rogers, thank you. Commissioner Ellis, next. The second discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the operational approvals for Penn National, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next one is operational approvals for parks. Parks requests 151 days. Request for approval of the officials, takeout rate, wagering format, simulcast in and simulcast out for calendar year 2022.
I'll make a motion.
Tom, thank you. And then Commissioner Gavendo on the motion to approve the operational approvals for parks. Commissioner Jones with the second discussion of this motion.
Is Joe Wilson on with us?
Joe Wilson, are you on with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Joe, we made changes to the schedule that added some Saturdays. Joe, we made some changes to the schedule that added some Saturdays. They're not reflected in what we have here, so we're going to just make the motion to approve this as amended, that we have to, based on the regular edition that you submitted. Am I correct about that, Joe?
That's correct. We swapped 6 Wednesdays for 6 Saturdays. Those days being, traditional days, Kentucky Derby Day, Preakness Day, Belmont Day, so forth.
I was aware of that, and the DTHA agrees to those, so my motion is basically approval of the revised schedule from parks to do those things. Is that, when we do that, we have to do that later?
Tom, that was before us. What you have in hand? Do you have that?
I mean, I came in, I didn't get a chance to review it. My recommendation here, Commissioner DeMonda, would be to approve the 151 days as is, and then when we come back in December, I'll put it back on the agenda to move up to approve the modifications.
Joe, did you do that?
I did.
Okay, so we can go with that process. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the operational approvals for parks, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next one is the operational approvals for the Meadows. A request for 183 live race days for 2022. Request approval for officials, takeout rate, wagering format, simulcast in, simulcast out for 2022. Quick note, Scott Lisha advised me that there will be one more day added, but in keeping with what I did for parks, or what I recommended for parks, I would seek approval for the 183 days. In December, we'll put it back Meadows on for the additional day.
Tom, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the operational approvals for the Meadows?
So moved.
So moved, Commissioner Larkin.
Dr. Sweeney, thank you. And the motion, Commissioner Larkin with the second discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the Meadows operational plan, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next item is operational approvals for Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs. Request for approval of 136 live days for 2022. Request for officials for 2022. Takeout rates, wagering format, simulcast in, simulcast out for 2022, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Tom, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the plan for Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs? Commissioner Redheiser on the motion. We have a second. Commissioner Reddy, thank you. Motion and second discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the operational plan for Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The last operational approval is for Harrah's Philadelphia. Harrah's requests approval for 130 live race dates. Officials for 2022, along with takeout rates, wagering formats, simulcast in, simulcast out. Mr. Chair, a motion, please.
Tom, thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the Harrah's Philadelphia operational plan?
So moved, Roger.
Commissioner Rogers on the second. We have a second. Commissioner Ruddy on the second discussion. Hearing none, those in favor of approving the operational plan for Harrah's Philadelphia, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, George, turn to you for the licensing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's George Augusto, Jorge, last name Augusto, Office of Chief Counsel. Presently before you, Commissioners, we have several licensing matters. The one leftover matter of renewal of racing vendor license for American Teletype Corporation. These applications are an annual application, and they have been reviewed both by your Director of Licensing, your legal office, as well as the directors, and this would be the proposed order. And this is for docket number 2021-21 for American Teletimer Racing Vendor License app for 2022. And now this 30th day of November 2021, pursuant to section 9351B1 of the Act of 2016, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above racing vendor, as defined in section 9301 and as determined by the Commission, is seeking to renew its license to provide goods and services to a licensed racing entity directly related to racing or the racing product. Pursuant to section 9358, this racing vendor license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2022. In accordance with the statutory authority in the Act, the Commission has received and reviewed the submitted renewal information from the racing vendor, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved 2021 license application. The above listed racing vendor and its officers, owners, officers, principals, have demonstrated by clear and convincing evidence that they are persons of good character, honesty, and integrity, and are in the best interests of racing, pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Act. Therefore, in accordance with the applicable statutory authority, the Commission hereby renews the above petitioner's racing vendor license for the year 2022.
George, thank you. We have a motion to approve the American Teletype Corporation renewal racing vendor. Commissioner Bundle, motion. We have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Rogers on the second. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have presently before you 5 electronic wagering petitions. With your permission, with the Commissioner's permission, I'd like to read one order that is all applicable to the listed entities on the agenda. So that would be Chester Downs and Marina, Downs Racing LP, Mountain Laurel Racing and Washington Trotting, Ben Salem Wrestling Association and Keystone Turf Club, and Mountain View Thoroughbred Racing LLC and Penn National Turf Club. This would be the proposed following order. And now this 30th day of November 2021, pursuant to sections 9351B and 9353 of the Act of 114, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above licensed racing entities is seeking to renew its annual license to engage in electronic wagering under the jurisdiction and statutory authority of the Commission for 2022. Pursuant to section 9351B2, the renewal license shall take effect on January 1st, 2022. In accordance with the statutory authority set forth in the Act, the Commission received the electronic wagering license renewal petition, supporting documentation, and applicable renewal license fee under section 9352(4)(I). The Commission staff has completed the documentary review and evaluation necessary to make a final determination that the above renewal petition is consistent with the public interest and the best interest of racing in general. In addition to the enumerated conditions, rights, and duties of licensure set forth in the Act, the Commission hereby directs that the licensed racing entity shall promptly notify the Commission of any material changes or modifications to the submitted renewal petition and supporting documentation.
Okay, George, thank you. So we have a motion to approve the electronic wagering petitions for 2022 as noted by council to include all of the 5 entities on the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Sweet, thank you on the motion. Second, Commissioner Devonta, thank you. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the electronic wagering petition for 2022, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, adjudications, Mike Curran.
That is spelled M-A-R-I-J-A, Curran, K-U-R-E-N. In re appeal of Ronald E. Harrison Jr., disqualification of Iron Age, loss of purse money in fourth race, Presque Isle Downs Racetrack, July 27, 2020. Docket number Racing PI-2021-NM-2. The matter comes before the commission regarding Mr. Harrison's appeal of the official results of the number 7 horse in the fourth race at the Presque Isle Downs Casino Racetrack located in Erie, Pennsylvania on July 27, 2020. This matter comes before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission Bureau of Thoroughbred Horse Racing on an appeal filed by licensed owner trainer Ronald E. Harrison Jr. of the Presque Isle Downs Stewards ruling number 20052 PI dated October 19, 2020, which disqualified Mr. Harrison's horse Iron Age from purse monies because the horse Iron Age tested positive for an overage of the drug fenbutazone. The commission had the opportunity to review the record during executive session, and the following order can be treated as a motion which reads, and now this 30th day of November 2021, upon consideration of the testimony and the exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that the decision of the Board of Stewards to disqualify the horse Iron Age from the fourth race held on July 27, 2020 at the Presque Isle Downs and Casino Racetrack, to move each horse that was behind the horse Iron Age up a place and redistribute the purse is hereby affirmed. And that can be treated as a motion.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
I move we uphold the steward's decision to disqualify Iron Age from purse monies and to redistribute the purse.
Mr. Ellis, thank you. Do we have a second to the motion?
Second.
Dr. Sweeney, thank you. We have a second discussion of this motion. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say aye. Any abstentions? Okay, one opposed, one abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Two opposed, did you say?
Yes, I said that.
You did, okay. Two opposed, one abstention, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, and there's one more, and in both of these, George Augusto, since he prosecuted these two cases, he did not participate in the deliberation or adjudication of the cases. The second is in re appeal of Randall R. Russell, disqualification of whiskey dash loss of purse money in third race, Presque Isle Downs Racetrack, July 27, 2020. Docket number Racing PI 2021-NM-3. The matter comes before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission, Bureau of Thoroughbred Horse Racing, on an appeal filed by licensed owner trainer Randall Russell of the Presque Isle Downs Stewards ruling number 20052 PI dated October 19, 2020, which disqualified Mr. Russell's horse Whiskey Dash from purse monies because the horse Whiskey Dash tested positive for triamcinolone acetonide. The commission had the opportunity to review the record during executive session, and the following order can be treated as a motion which reads, and now this 30th day of November 2021, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that the decision of the Board of Stewards to disqualify the horse Whiskey Dash from the third race held on July 27, 2020 at the Presque Isle Downs Casino Racetrack, to move each horse that was behind Whiskey Dash up a place and redistribute the purse is hereby affirmed. And that can be treated as a motion.
Okay. Bonnie, thank you. We have a motion. Yeah, Mr. Ellis.
Mr. Chairman, I move to uphold the steward's decision to disqualify Whiskey Dash from purse monies and to redistribute the purse.
Mr. Ellis, thank you. Do we have a second to the motion? Second.
Second.
Commissioner Sweeney, thank you. We have a second. Motion second. Discussion of the motion.
Just an explanation that my no votes on both of these have to do with mitigating circumstances.
Thank you. Any discussion or further discussion? Comments? If not, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Two opposed, any abstentions? And one abstention, motion carries. Thank you. Marty, thank you. Okay, we'll turn to Tony on the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. I see we have all three harness directors here in person today, so why don't we start with the three harness directors. Scott, would you like to go first?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. Thank you very much for having me. Just wanted to touch base a little bit on what transpired over October and early November with us racing at the Meadows on Friday nights. Kind of a little experiment we tried to boost an area that we had built out called Embers, an outside bar lounge, which I touched on before with fire pits. Overall, it was a very, very good success for us. We saw a large amount of people come out to the facility that, for lack of a better reason, couldn't come because we were racing in the afternoon. The evening racing worked well. Big boost to the food concessions as well as just the general atmosphere. On-track handle was up anywhere from 50 to 75%. Overall handle did get hurt a little bit. We figured that just because of our positioning and kind of a learning curve for us, but something that we feel we can build on maybe for the spring and summer of 2022. And in addition, it was very successful. We're now exploring the option of rolling that Embers theme and feel inside into our race book. We're engaged with a design firm right now to see about the possibility of maybe in 2022 expanding that out, doing some more capital improvements, upgrading the race book. So I wanted to just let the commission know that it was very well received, and thank you very much for letting us change our times on those days. Thank you.
Would you spell your name for the record, please?
I apologize. Scott, S-C-O-T-T, last name Lisha, L-I, S as in Sam, H-I-A.
Thank you, Scott, appreciate it. How about Mike Zellinger from Pocono? Mike, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just.
Good afternoon,
Push the button.
Oh,
There you go.
all right. Good afternoon. I would just like to thank the commissioners for all your approvals today. As you know, we're in our off season right now, and we look forward to another successful 2022 racing season. That's all I have this month. Thank you very much.
Would you spell your name for the record?
Mike, M-I-K-E, last name Z-U-L-L-I-N-G-E-R.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Barry Brown from Harris. Good to see you, Barry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. It is a pleasure to be here for my first time in just about 2 years. So feeling a sense of normalcy is a good thing. As far as the month of December, I wanted to just touch quickly, coming up in cooperation with the PHHA, Sam Beagle, Mike Coran, we made a few changes to our schedule. After this week, the final 4 weeks of our season, we're going to run 3-day weeks. We'll run right up till and including New Year's Eve afternoon. So the purpose there is we have suffered some horse population issues, as I know has been mentioned earlier today. So it's been a struggle over the last couple months. So the purpose here is to stimulate that, and the 3-day weeks versus the 4 should get us hopefully full fields, a full set of races every day, and finish what has been a really strong season. Despite the fact that we've had some issues with horse population, we should finish very strongly. So we'll be racing right up through New Year's Eve, and I know Tony has that request, and hopefully it'll prove out to be a good decision for us. Thank you.
Would you spell your name for the record, please?
Barry Brown, BarryBrown.
Thanks, Barry. Let's go to Joe Wilson. I know you're on the phone, Joe, from Parks.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Just next Tuesday, we have our last PA bread steaks. I'm sure Brian will talk about it. It's the nursery. That was up to 200,000. And we also added $500,000 stakes to end the year. So that'll be on the 28th and 29th. That's all I have.
Okay, Joe. How about Eric Johnson from Penn National? Eric, are you on the call?
I am. Not a whole lot to report, just field size and handle numbers are trending up as they do every winter. Just hopeful that trend continues, and we'll keep moving forward. That's about all.
Thanks, Eric. How about Matt Ennis from Presque Isle? Matt?
Yes, I'm here, Tony. Quiet for Presque Isle here. We wrapped up our racing in late October. November is a very quiet month for us, simulcast only, using the month to prepare our shed rows, barn areas for our upcoming season in 2022. And look forward to being on the agenda in December for the approval of our season in 2022. So that's all I have, Tony.
Matt, could you just spell your name for the court reporter, please?
I apologize. First name Matthew, M-A-T-T-H-E-W. Last name Ennis, E-N-N-I-S.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Mr. Beagle, Sam Beagle, you're up for the PHHA.
Start off with spelling your name, please.
I don't really have a lot to say, but it's Sam, S-A-M, Beagle, B-E-E-G-L-A. I'm just really tickled to see our 3 harness directors, our harness people here today. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Sam. How about Kim Hankins from the MSOA? Are you on the call, Kim?
Yes, I am, Tony. Kim Hankins, K-I-M. Last name Hankins, H-A-N-K-I-N-S. And I have no report.
Okay, Kim. Mike Belizzi. Mike, are you on the call? No, Mike. Todd Mosteller. Todd? Todd going twice. No Todd. Jimmy Simpson, the breeders, Standardbred breeders.
J-I-M-S-I-M-P-S-O-N. That report's already been done.
Okay, Jim. And Brian Sanfratello.
Last Friday night at Penn, we had our first of two $200,000 two-year-old stakes races. It was a fantastic race. We had 10 entries in that, 9 of them ran, and it was a great race. At Clark's next Tuesday, it's the 7th, we'll have our 2-year-old race. And we expect that to be a full field, or very close to a full field, and another great avenue for Pennsylvania bred horses. Just one other point, and that is we'd like to thank the commission for approving the $150,000 additional grant to Penn Vet. We're pleased to be able to continue the research which is being done on equine biobank research and gene doping. We feel that this will help prevent catastrophic injuries and also help as far as gene doping is concerned. Any questions? Thank you.
Ashley, did you want Ashley Eisenbell?
Ashley Eisenbeil, A-S-H-L-E-Y-E-I-S-E-N-B-E-I-L, with the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. I just wanted to point out to the commissioners, I handed out a couple of the bags on the back of your chairs. those odd bags we're gonna be giving away. We're coming back to Farm Show. We're super excited to bring a VR. And our bags are really geared towards the kids and education about our industry. So you'll see an activity book, a pencil, we have some hand sanitizer. And we're also gonna be putting in a card, they haven't got a printer yet, that is gonna drive parents and teachers to a website that has curriculum focused for third grade students in the horse racing industry. And that curriculum is gonna be really focused on the jobs and in the industry. We've done some surveys with some third grade teachers and it aligns with their curriculum, so we wanted to make sure that it would really work for them and fit with what the state needs for the state needed curriculum. And we're putting together a really nice landing page with handouts. And as the full cams go up this year, we'll be promoting that and offering virtual field trips to the farms. So that's all I have. I just wanted to share.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, you said that this is actually being sent out, these are being distributed to the general public as well?
Yes, so it's gonna be on the website, everything will be at the farm. So the bags are just kind of like a teaser in hand, but we'll be promoting it through the media. We'll put out press releases and also in contact with the school districts where they can get that free lesson plans.
That's perfect, thank you. I want to make sure the commissioners, that it was also being given to the general public, so.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I can say I illustrated the book. So,
Wow, okay, cool.
thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I've mentioned this before, but we talked about getting don't leave us. We talked before about getting the Smarty Jones memorabilia and collecting that, and Ashley was very helpful. She spent the entire day there with photographs. What we ended up with is the ball. We have the Kentucky Derby, we have the Preakness, we have the Breeders' Cup, and lots of other collections are now at parks in the vault, which our goal is to exhibit those as part of the Hall of Fame year come next year. But actually, I want to again thank you for all the effort you put in there. You want to tell a little bit about what you went through with Mrs. Chapman real quickly, if you can, how did that go?
Well, of course, Mrs. Chapman has a treasure trove of memorabilia from Smarty Jones. I'll just touch on some of the things that I think would be great for the exhibit. I got the opportunity to go through all of the fan mail from Smarty Jones, and she has it so wonderfully organized, and to read those letters, and I made sure to pull out a good handful of those letters that really touched me and really showed the heart of Smarty Jones for PA. And I scanned them, and I think there'll be a great way that we would be able to display those to the public. I think it's a really great tribute to the fans and to Smarty, what they have given her over the years, said about Smarty. So I look forward to working with the association and with the track in any way that I can help.
And I just want to publicly thank Mrs. Chapman and Ashley for the effort put in this, because I think it's a tremendous treasure for the Commonwealth to have that stuff here. Except for what's going to go to my house.
He's kidding.
Is council weighing in, correct? Yes.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you. That's
I think Todd Mostow may be on the call now. Todd, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me this time?
Yep, we got you, Todd. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, for some reason I was muted by somebody on your end. I don't know how to take that, but I'll continue on.
I'll take it personally.
Yeah, no worries. Todd, T-O-D-D, Mostoller, M-O-S-T-O-L-L-E-R. And I really have nothing to report, but I wanted to make sure that you guys knew I was on the whole time. I was there the whole time, but for some reason I couldn't speak when I was asked on.
Okay, Todd, duly noted. Thank you. There is some public comment. Dr. Langlois had 2 questions, I believe.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Brian, B-R-Y-A-N.
Langlois, Langlois. And I just had two requests to the commission. This is kind of circling back to a couple of requests I made a couple of years ago. The first of which is that, or to ask the commission to start the process of getting a regulation in place that a chase vehicle of some kind with a veterinarian is mandated following the horses in every race in PA. This is done in almost every other racing jurisdiction. It can't be, I don't know why it potentially can't be done here, but when I was at Track Penn National on November 12th, race 6, there was a horse that pulled up in the stretch. I'm not exactly sure what the injury was, but because of the way it's currently set up, the veterinarian that is on the gate basically then has to wait for the ambulance to be started, to get onto the ambulance, wait for the horses to pull up, and then start jogging back before the ambulance is brought around the track to get to the horse. In a lot of situations like this, and veterinarians on the commission I'm sure will agree, if a vet can get to a horse quicker, obviously it will be much better for them, even if just to provide basic care until they're cared for further back at the barn. But as I said, this is kind of done. I realize it's a long process now to get a regulation on the books, but if that process could be started, it would be greatly appreciated. And again, this is just on the thoroughbred side. The second request I had on the thoroughbred side was, again, starting the process of getting a regulation stating that any horse that from the time they're in the paddock to the point where they get to the gate flip in such a way that they land on their side, their back, or their head are an automatic scratch. This does not always happen in PA. Horses sometimes will flip in the post parade. The jockey will get back on and they will go ahead and run. And again, I think the veterinarians would agree with me that sometimes when they're that hyped with adrenaline and all of that, they may have injuries that you cannot see at that point, which puts both the horse and the riders at risk if they were to go on a race. So if the process for that can be started, my understanding is it has to be raised by the commission, and it has to be put on the agenda for that to occur. So those were my only two comments. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Langlois. We'll take that under consideration with legal counsel for future regulations. So that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Thanks to each of our industry representatives today, and a number of the commenters talking about. Thank you for reminding us of a couple of those things that we did talk about over the years. We'll take a look at that. Thank you. Any further comments on commission members? Okay, just a reminder, next scheduled public meeting, December the 14th at 1 o'clock. So what are the two fingers for? It's 2 weeks, literally in 2 weeks. Yeah, okay. Thank you, in 2 weeks. Thank you, December the 14th. Okay, any final comments? Tony, Tom? If not, motion to adjourn.
So moved, Commissioner Mark.
Okay, thank you. Everybody said yes. Thank you. Okay, see you.